If your soul has been whispering that it's time to heal, this is your sign. Stepping into the Mirror is the book that helps you face your truth, reclaim your power, and rise into the life you were created for. Start your transformation today. Order Stepping into the Mirror now on Amazon. Link available in the show notes. Thank you so much.
Today on Mirror Talk Soulful Conversations, we are joined by someone whose entire life is a living testimony of turning struggle into strength and purpose. He's a dyslexic career and high-performance coach who grew up believing his diagnosis was a weakness, only to discover that it was the very superpower that would shape his calling. From helping professionals and entrepreneurs find confidence and clarity to hosting the Light Beyond Limit podcast and speaking on more than 500 stages, Willie is committed to igniting transformation through love, inspiration, gratitude, hope, and intentional use of time. His light values guide everything he does. His faith grounds him. His story inspires countless others to break free from perfectionism, overthinking, and the belief that they are behind in life. Willie, it's truly an honor to have you with us today. How are you doing?
After hearing that, man, I'm so good. I'm excited for today.
Thank you so much for joining me for a Soulful Conversation. I'm looking so much forward to learning from you, about the intentional use of time, not feeling left behind in life. Those are like things that affect a lot of us. A lot of us could relate to. So I'm looking forward to you shining some lights on all of that and sharing your light values also with us. I'm looking forward to that conversation. But before we go into all of that, I'd love us to play a quick game of Wildcard. You agreed to play this?
I did agree. I don't know what's going to happen, but I did agree to this.
Yeah, I agree to this. And I don't know what questions I'm going to ask you. That makes it so much fun for me and exciting for me too, because right now I'm shuffling the first stacks of card, which is our icebreakers level. And I'm just going to pick a card randomly. Pick the card already, and I'll get to ask you a question. Oh yeah, I've never asked this before, so it's exciting to me. So are you ready for the first question?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So the question is, who is your go-to music artist when you are feeling down? Your go-to music artist?
Ooh, go-to music artist.
Yes.
One Republic. I love that.
Okay.
That's my go-to. I love their songs. Loved them growing up. There's always the battle between like One Direction and One Republic. Not me personally, never a big fan of One Direction, but like One Republic, man, I could listen to their songs all day.
What was your favorite from their albums or their songs? Do you have like a favorite one that you go to?
I'm trying to remember the name of it. Can't believe I can't remember the name of it. I don't know if Apologize. I think it's Apologize. Apologize with One Republic.
Apologize. Yeah.
Nice one to go to.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice one. Are you ready for the next level?
I don't know. Level 2 is Confessions. So I don't know.
Yeah, level 2 is Confessions. Yes. And I pulled the card already and I'm looking forward to your answer, actually. The question is, what is your biggest struggle right now?
Feeling like I'm enough is my biggest struggle right now.
Why? Why is that struggle?
This last weekend, I got to be the MC at a speaking competition down in a different state in the US. And while I was there, I was talking with the host. And we were talking about she asked, "Are you having fun?" And I shook my head, yes. Kind of like that tired yes. I'm like, yeah. She says, "Well, you didn't say it. So are you actually having fun?" I'm like, yeah, I am having fun. And our conversation led down to, over this last year, I've switched from this like William Blake, which is the name I used a year ago, who was like super professional, couldn't make mistakes. And that was like the protected William, that the inner child within me is just like, we can't make a mistake, because if we make a mistake, people will think that we're a fraud and it just don't feel like enough. And it's just been this last year of going to now being Willie Blake and Coach Willie, I could just talk like a conversation. And This is literally how I speak on stage. This is how we talk on podcasts. And anytime you know me, it's just now it's the authentic me. But there's still those feelings that I'm working through of, am I still truly enough? And it just comes back from growing up as a dyslexic, trying to be perfect in everything because I had to be perfect in order to be average in school because of my disability that I had. And so, yeah, it would be the feeling of being enough at times.
Yeah. Thanks so much for sharing that. Yeah. A lot of us, have that feeling of not being enough, not being up to that par, or, this imposter syndrome also could be something that a lot of us struggle with.
Yeah. And it's
But that's,
weird because I
myself
talk
too.
about this. Like I have clients and people I speak with on stage. I talk about this to people and about like feeling enough and feeling good. But it's just so funny that it doesn't matter what stage you are in life, whether you're like the CEO making millions of dollars a year or just starting out a speaker journey, there's still feelings of inadequacy. And that doesn't mean that you aren't ready for the stage. It's just it's the same thing as like the fear or the butterflies you get in your stomach. Courage is pushing past the fear. It's still having it, but pushing past it. So not feeling enough, there will be times where it still comes up, but we still push past it. And in the end, everything works out.
Yeah, everything works out. That's true. Oh, thanks so much for that answer. Are you ready for the last one? It's not that difficult, right? I mean, these questions.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, so this is not so much of a question. It says, this is our getting tip card. If there is something you have been wanting to let it out. This is dangerous. If there's something you have been wanting to let out, you can let it out right now. This is a safe space for you to
just let it out right now.
Just let it out right now.
I don't think there's anything I want to let out.
Okay, that's
You're
good.
like, woo! Today's an awesome day.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I read that and I was like, oh my God, okay, I don't know what to expect right now, but yes.
Like, I just start breakdancing on the floor, but you can't see me because my camera's up here.
I guess it was like an invitation for you to express yourself the way you want to, or to say whatever is on your mind that, you would have been scared to say before, something like that.
Yeah. No, it's a great card. Like when you read it, I'm like, does that mean a phrase? Does that mean just me doing something? If the phrase that actually came to my mind was, you're not behind, you just haven't started.
That's deep. Yeah. You're not behind. You have not just started. Yeah. You have just not started. That's a message. That's deep. Yeah. Wow. Willie, I wanted to speak with you on this podcast episode because, of what you've experienced in life, about, turning your struggles into strength. And I just want to ask, like, looking back at your first grade diagnosis, what was the moment you first began to see being dyslexic as not a burden, but as a doorway into your purpose?
I was diagnosed back in the first grade. This adult handed me this piece of paper, and it was like giving the first grader the New York Times. It was almost impossible for me to read, and that's how they found out I was dyslexic. But a moment in which it kind of like started to switch from bottom of the barrel, not worthy enough, ain't going to happen, to maybe there's actually a possibility for it happening.
Yeah.
Was back in 2019, right before the pandemic and everything happened. I went to one of my friend's networking events and I was dressed up so good, black suit, had the red paisley tie on, just like looking so professional. But I walked in and I did not feel professional at all. Everyone was wearing jeans and khakis and t-shirts, and they were like giving their connections, resources, everything. And I'm like, all I can give is a thumbs up because this is just the beginning of my journey. I didn't know anything else. I was just starting. But going to those and realizing that I didn't want to feel like an imposter walking in, I turned the desire of not wanting to feel like a fraud, which I wasn't, but the feeling is still there. To feel like a fraud, I turned that desire into dedication, turn that dedication into discipline. And it was in that moment that I'm just like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. So I started applying what I was reading to actual life experience. Like I started to write in my book every day, even though it took me forever to be able to write for 30 minutes, write 3,000 words. Took me hours to do it when most people can do it in 30 minutes. I started to actually talk to people during networking events instead of sitting in my car and then going back to my wife and being like, went to another networking event, but not telling her that I stayed in my car. It's the actual just like putting in the reps and getting in there that continued to start it. So that was kind of like the beginning moment of there's even more possibility because I was putting in the reps and then that shell I was in started to break and unlock. And so this dyslexia thing that I was talking with my friends. He's like, Willie, why don't you, with your coaching business, why don't you speak to dyslexics? You've been dyslexic your life. Why the heck aren't you talking to them? And I'm like, that's a good idea. So I started reaching out. I started to do more posts and content about dyslexia, realizing that there is thousands and hundreds of thousands of people in the world with dyslexia or some form of it. And it's like, we've all been out there, but it's a taboo topic. You don't talk about it just while you're at a bar drinking with your friends or while you're sitting playing games with your buddies. Like, it's not just like, hey, I got dyslexia. It doesn't come up. It doesn't work out that way.
No, it doesn't.
But the ability of when it actually does come out, it's like an instant connection with people. And that's just kind of how it went, was me starting to get the reps in and then me realizing that I needed to start talking to my people, the people who are out there but feel like they're alone. And that's kind of the trajectory of how I got to where I am.
Yeah. Thanks so much for doing what you're doing right now. Helping people not to feel alone and helping them on their journey, giving them hope that no matter what they're going through, being dyslexic or whatnot, they can still get the most out of life, live their a life of fulfillment and purpose also. Yeah, but for people out there who have never heard the word dyslexia before, being dyslexic, how would you describe it to a layman?
Yeah, it simply comes down to the way that you process information. So information that comes in, whether you're reading it or listening to it, how we interpret it in our heads, and then how we communicate it outwards. So those three ways. A lot of times when you hear dyslexics, they read backwards, they struggle with reading. Sometimes it's hard for speaking or math and stuff. Simply, all comes down to just how we process information, whether that's coming in, whether that's interpreting it, or how we talk it out.
Okay. I mean, yeah, a lot of us have I myself sometimes have the struggle of pronouncing words. In my head, I might read it a different way, but pronounce it a different way. It's like, okay, I don't know what that is. But I mean, regardless of, whatever one is, if one is dyslexic or not, I mean, it does not stop you from living a normal life or from going out there and being your normal self.
Yeah. Like it shouldn't. Sadly, society and the traditional school, it was just built for memorization, reading, writing, the ability to like get information. 95% of it is that way. So of course, dyslexics are going to struggle when it comes to traditional education and living in society, because that's just what it's about. But I'm flipping on the other side of being like, well, also, we're great with patterns. We're great with out of the box thinking. We can come up with solutions others can't. We're great with sympathy because we've had to deal with so much. So when other people have challenges, we're like, I feel you. I also have a challenge. We can walk this together. And despite the way we process it, we're actually good communicators because we break it down to simple words. We don't use this jargon that people use in their industries as often. We're like, cool, big word in layman's terms or simple terms in English. What is it like actually? So we're also able to communicate a lot better because we keep it so simple. And so being able to, with the bad, see all the good that comes from it too. Well, now you can make a conscious decision of, can I do this or can't I do this? Well, they're both here. So I'm going to choose to focus more on the good stuff that is happening and then just work a little bit on the bad. And that's what's helped me like go from struggling with dyslexia to now making it my advantage. It's not because I'm different and that my dyslexia is just this unique thing that can be an advantage. Nah, I'm the same as everybody else. But I now know the benefits and the positives of dyslexia. And now I get to share that with other people. And when others realize it, they're like, yeah, I actually do see those moments in your life. And it's like, I believe the quote was attributed to Henry Ford, but he says, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
true.
I started believing that I can. And if that helps other people, then awesome.
Yes, yes. When you believe you can, you can. Yes. And if you believe you can't, then you can't. It's just, that's the truth. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a question that's coming up for me. How do you deal with dyslexia and perfectionism also in the same body? Like, how was your journey with that? Like, and how are you able to let go of being a perfectionist?
Yeah, funny enough, they work really well hand in hand because growing up as a dyslexic, you need to, in order to like keep up with everybody else, you got to put in a lot of time. I remember while my friends would be outside playing, I'd be inside having to study and put more time into homework. I'd be up till like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning finishing homework when my friends finished it before dinner happened. Like we have to put so much more time into it. But it's that. But when it comes to like the perfection side, I say this these days: perfection is dead. What I mean by that is, if you think of a tree, if the tree is perfect and nothing needs to change about it, is it going to keep growing?
No,
It's not. And if a
not.
tree is not growing, then it's decaying.
Yeah, it's dying.
Same with us. Same when it comes to like, I know like religion's also one that's out there. Like religions, there's no perfect one that's out there because it's growing.
Mm.
When it comes to like our abilities of like going forward and achieving stuff, like we're continually growing. We are growing. So we can't be perfect. There's no way we can be perfect right now because we're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to grow. We're meant to keep going. So I keep saying perfection is dead. Perfection's dead. It's about progress over perfection. And the way that I've helped do that is like a tree. It takes years for a tree to go from that little seed into the big tree that produces fruit and that you can start just enjoying the tree and the shade and the fruit and everything with it. Like me, I can't just snap my fingers and all of a sudden, bam, I'm the next Tony Robbins. I'm just out there crushing it, right? It's the little steps that we do each day that help us to grow. So what I like to start telling people about, what I've done myself is every single day, just do a little bit more. Nourish yourself a little bit day, and you as your soul and your tree going to start growing. Perfection is dead and perfection decays. It's growth. Growth is where the beauty is. And if
Mm.
growth is where the beauty is, that's where I want to spend my time with.
Yes, making little progress, like taking small steps, making big progress, taking big steps, whatever. Just making this advancement basically in life. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to make progress in everything that you do. Yeah, yeah. Wow, thanks so much for sharing that. I appreciate that because a lot of us sometimes we don't start something until the perfect time for it. But what I'm hearing from you right now, what I'm understanding is that you can start whenever you want to. Just make those little steps. Just take those little steps and make progress. Just be progressing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just keep progressing, keep going. Why do you want to stand still? Why do you want to be the person you are today 5 years from now? That's what's going to happen if you don't do anything. But like if your life isn't just the most ideal and you don't want anything more and it's just like of pure bliss, those are the only people that I know that would want their life to be the same in 5 years. For
Mm.
the other 99.99% of us, and I'd even go out on the limb and say 100 because everybody still needs to still wants to have at least something a little better. Well, then change, that little bit of change every day, so that you're not the same person you are 5 years from now, and you put your hands up in the air and you're just like, forget it. Why the heck am I the same person 5 years from now? Well, it's because you aren't just doing something small today.
Yeah.
You're letting the life happen to you. Don't let life happen to you. Life's going to happen to you whether you like it or not. But if we add a little bit of time into the things that we want, well, then life is going to get a little bit less hard and a little bit more easier.
Yes. Let life happen for you and not to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to learn from your light values because they are very powerful. So, how did these values form within you, and how did they show up in your daily life as as a husband, dark coach, and spiritual person that you are?
Yes. So the LIGHT acronym, it came from one of my mentors. His name's Evan Carmichael, and he had this thing of your one word why. So the why, the reason you do everything, it's taking that and smushing it down into a single word. And mine was light. And over the years, I've been able to figure out an acronym for it, which is love, inspire, gratitude, hope, and then time, because that's truly all that we have. And to finally put words to it, I try to live my life as much as I can with love and peace. I think like contention, getting angry and all of that, sure, it might still happen, but it's not, I don't want my kids to be that way. I'm a father of 3, almost 4 in a month and a half, all girls. And it's just like, I want my girls to love, and I want them to know what it means to be loved by a man. I want them to know what it means, like when they go and get married, to be loved by their spouse. And for the inspiration, I don't want my daughters, I don't want my spouse, I don't want the people around me in my community, I don't want anyone in the world just to like be like, me, this is mine. It's all about me. No, we're built to serve. I want people to serve because we're built for it. We're humans that are built to help other people out. And when we get down in the dumps, one of the best ways to get out is gratitude. If you want to change your attitude, change your gratitude.
Yes.
Gratitude and anxiety, they can't live in the same place. If you are truly grateful, anxiety melts away. But the reverse is also true. If you tend to be more anxious, it's because you're not really appreciating everything that you have, which is a lot. Even the people who don't have much, they still find things to be grateful for. So who am I? Who am I not to be grateful for the things I have when people who are worse off than me just smile and are just truly grateful? And truly change your attitude. To change your attitude, change your gratitude. And then for hope and time, like hope, we got to be hopeful. We got to hope for something in the future, because why would we ever want to change? Why would we ever want to be better? What's the point of getting married to my wife or having some wonderful girls? What's the point of building relationships with people? What's the point of doing a podcast? Like, what's the point of everything if it's not hope that's going to help people out? There is none. And so with hope, we hope for the future, and we can live each day with the last one, which is time. We get to choose what we do each day. And as we live in the moment, hope for the future, be grateful for the things in our past, go out and, as we're built to serve, inspire people and do it with love, this world becomes a better place.
Oh yeah, yes. Wow, thank you so much for going through the acronym with me. Yes, like love, inspire, gratitude, hope. And what's the last word again, please? Yeah.
Time.
Time, yes, exactly. Yes, having time. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I want to be able to place all these values in our lives, we'll be able to live a much more fulfilled life. And also, from my understanding, impact other people around us, like you loving your daughter so that they know what it feels like to be loved, by their father and by a man also. And gratitude, that's something I've been learning on this journey also of podcast recording and from life in general. Once you're able to be grateful and have this habit of being grateful, or having that bit of practicing gratitude, increase your energy, and your vibration is going to be high, or frequency is going to be high, and that attracts a lot of love also into your life and great things into your life too. Yeah. Thanks so much for sharing that. Yes. So, one thing that I learned about you, from preparing for this conversation is that, honing your story changed everything for you, basically. So I'd like to know, like, what did that internal shift feel like for you? And how can listeners today begin to hone parts of their stories that may, still be hidden within them, or that they even might be hiding from, at the moment? So,
Yeah, you just gotta love you. Like, you gotta
yeah.
love yourself. And that's just not the good stuff, that's the bad stuff. You gotta be okay that you make mistakes. You gotta be okay that you might have addictions. You gotta be okay with that and truly just love yourself as a human. I think it's just been this past year. Like a year ago, I was just like trying to be perfect. I was trying to be everything. Pushed away all the fun stuff that I did because I didn't want the public to know, because oh my goodness, what would happen if the public knows about all the like Pokemon Go or playing video games or watching YouTube, like all that stuff. Oh my goodness, what would happen if they know that? But then I started to spend a little bit more time with myself, and I realized I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I didn't. I looked at myself, I'm like, I don't like this dude. And it was a very hard pill to swallow. But I said, looking in the mirror, I'm like, if you want to, talking to me, if you want to, can we start being with each other more? Can we start spending time with each other and getting just to love who we are? And from there, it was so uncomfortable standing in front of the mirror, sometimes doing like a power pose, being like, you're awesome, you're great, saying affirmations, but not believing it, to walking past and me just awkwardly being like, you look handsome, you're looking good, Willie. To then meditating and spending just quiet time with myself, no phone, no other people, just me sitting there in silence. Like, man, it was uncomfortable and it was hard because all those thoughts kept coming up of, we got to be busy, we got to keep doing this. And I was learning more about myself. And over this last year of just being with myself a little bit more, I started to realize Willie's a pretty cool dude. I like hanging out with Willie. And yeah, of course, like when we walk our dog, we'll pull out the phone and we'll throw some Pokeballs out. We love doing that. Also, like when we go to bed, that's the time where I get to watch some of my shows. So I'll pull up YouTube and watch a few episodes of whatever I like to watch. There's so many different things.
Yeah.
And I've started to just love myself more. And by loving myself more, strangely enough, I started caring less about what other people thought, which I thought it was the reverse. I thought I had to stop caring what people thought about me before I could love myself. But by loving myself more, I stopped caring what other people thought. And strangely enough, I started to build deeper relationships with people. And we started connecting on common grounds that we loved to do as a kid, like Pokemon, and just all these different things. And now I'm willing to share it with people because I love myself and I'm okay sharing it with the world. I don't look weak to anybody. And if I do, that's their problem, not mine. And so for you who's listening, I would say, gotta have the hard pill first. Look yourself in the mirror. And if you can be honest with yourself, the phrase that might come out is, I don't like what I'm looking at. But will you spend time with me? And start spending time with yourself.
Yeah.
And just like me, you'll start realizing that you're a pretty cool person. And over time, that self-love, you're going to feel it. That self-consciousness, that self-esteem that you felt like you lacked, you're going to start building it. The courage, the ability to be able to talk and communicate. Strangely enough, your dyslexia is going to actually improve because you love yourself. So that's what I'd say.
Yes.
Just gotta have the hard pill to swallow.
Love yourself more.
Look yourself in the mirror and then love yourself. Spend time with yourself.
Yes. I mean, what you just said right now, I can totally relate with it. I mean, uh, years back, I look at myself in the mirror and I, dislike some part of me because people make fun of it or whatnot. It's similar to what you do, like, looking at myself in the mirror. I did not tell myself I didn't tell myself that we should spend more time with each other, but I was like, saying, just being grateful basically for everything that people made fun of, and looking at myself and appreciating it in the mirror. And that's partially what gave birth to the name of this podcast, to Mirror Talk, because I was looking at myself in the mirror and appreciating all the flaws that people were making fun of. And right now I look at myself and I'm like, wow, I actually love who I am, who I'm becoming. Yeah, I believe it really works. It really works, having those positive affirmations, talking to yourself and loving yourself, like you said. Yeah, having yourself helps to show up differently in the world. Yeah, it builds up your self-confidence and helps you to build deeper connections, like you said also. Yes. Yeah.
And you start having fun with yourself. It's crazy. You start having fun with yourself. Like, I don't know any other podcast host as we're doing this that like has cards that you shuffle through and like we play a game at the beginning. That's one of the coolest things. This is so fun. And it's like, you have more fun when you're not trying to be all stiff and be like, I am professional. I am trying to present myself this way. When you're just yourself, man, you get to attract so many cool people, and it's so much easier to hang out with those cool people rather than the people who are not the people you want to hang out with, but you feel like you need to. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
You just got to have fun. You got to have fun while you work. You get to work while you have fun. It's just really cool.
Yes, that's very true. It has a lot of benefits to it. Yeah. So one thing that you do that I also love so much is that you help people move from overthinking into clarity. And I'm already getting some answers from our conversation so far. But if someone listening right now feels or still feels stuck or mentally overwhelmed today at this moment, what would you say is the first small step that they can take to reclaim their inner direction?
First step would be to break it down to its simplest form. What I mean by that is if you are trying to clean your house, break it down to like, okay, I just need to do this room. All right. What needs to happen in this room? Got to pick up the clothes, got to pick up the trash, got to put the toys or whatever, wherever it needs to go. It's like, cool. Pick one thing to focus on. And so one thing that I love, it's a principle I've used. It's called 1 minute, one thing, where you pick one thing that you can do for 1 minute. And that's it. No expectation of having to do all the rest of the house or room for this example. Just pick one thing you can do. Because the principle behind it is we feel this, we get into what some people call analysis paralysis, where we overanalyze and we feel like there's so much that has to go on that we don't even know the first thing that we need to do. We don't step forward. We're just sitting in a parked car and can't shift it to drive because we're still trying to figure out what the perfect route is we're trying to go. To where all you have to do is just put your car into drive, start driving forward, and then you'll be able to adjust and adapt along the way. So with cleaning your room, it might just be, all right, 1 minute, I'm going to pick up all the trash. So you set that timer, you go around, pick up all the trash, put it in the trash can, boom, minute's done. That's it. That's all you got to do. But because you moved, and I think it's Newton's like second or third law, just like when an object is in motion, it tends to stay in motion.
Yes.
Now that you moved, well, now it's like, okay, now I can pick up the clothes. So you set another minute and you start picking up the clothes. And now that you picked up the trash and the clothes, you're just like, okay, the dishes don't seem that hard. And then you start cleaning up the dishes and putting them in the dishwasher or hand scraping them. Then after that, you're just like, okay, now let's go back to my bedroom and I can clean up the rest of it because I feel good now. Why do you feel good? Because you were in movement. So that first step of break it down to its simplest form, like break it down to just one thing that you need to do. Just focus on doing that. Everything else, that's for future you to worry about. Don't worry about that. Just pick one thing that you can do today, and that is enough.
Pick one thing that you can do today, and that's enough, yes. And once you start doing it, you just get into the flow and do the next thing and the next thing. And before you know it, you're not overthinking anymore. You're in clarity in your life.
Yeah. It's funny that overthinking only comes when you're sitting down.
Yeah, that's true. You're sitting down and you're thinking about everything, but you're not doing anything. That's true.
Because
Yeah.
when you're moving, you're doing, and you're just thinking about the next thing to happen. But until you do that, at least in my experience, usually when I'm overthinking, I'm sitting down.
Mm. Same for me, yeah. Yes, that's true. Analyzing everything, planning everything out, but not doing anything actually, but just getting worried over sometimes nothing.
Yeah. I'd go out on the limb and say most of the time, nothing, right?
That's true. Willie, I really want to talk about also your Christian faith because I'm a Christian myself, and I really want to learn, about your Christian faith and your sense of, divine purpose, and all of these guides, much of your work today also. So, how has your relationship with God shaped the way you coach, you lead, and you show up for people?
What a great question. God gives me hope. God helps me see what I've done good in the past so I can be grateful for it. And he helps me see what I can be doing in the future. And so as I'm spending time with myself, I might be saying a silent prayer, and I might just be talking to him. And strangely enough, I don't usually do like the whole get on your knees, fold your arms, bow your head, and like just like the these and thous for all my prayers. I might do it if I'm like blessing dinner with my family or something like that. But usually when I'm just sitting there talking, I'm just like, hey, Father, just thank you for today. Today is such a good day. I got to be on calls this morning. I got to be on this. Like, I got to be with my family. I got to spend time with them. Man, it was great to be able this last weekend to be able to do something I don't usually get to do.
Mm.
And like, that's the kind of conversation that I have with him. And that relationship of not disrespect, but
Mm.
sacred
Yeah.
personal relationship has truly helped me to just see him as my heavenly dad, see him as someone who has and will always be there for me. And that if I'm in trouble, that's who I can look to. That's who I can always look to.
Yeah.
And it just helps
Yes.
to, probably one of the biggest things is just like the perspective of it all. It's like, because I know that I love my God and like I'm fearful to him, not like fearful that most people think, but like I care more about what he has to say than what other people have to say. Because of that relationship that we have, it helps me to live more in light. It
Mm.
helps me to get other people out of darkness
Mm.
because I feel love myself. And if I feel love, I can't share something I don't have. So if I'm in there, if I'm in the darkness and the challenge and I don't think I can do it, how the heck can I help someone else out?
It's not possible.
It's not. And so it's just like all of us sitting in a room crying in our shoulders, being like trying to help each other out when it's just like that, it can't work.
Mm-mm.
But the one to help out is the one who opens the door and shines the light into the room
Mm.
to where the person sitting there in the darkness finally looks up and you're able to put your hand out and say, I'm sorry for what you've gone through, but I'm right here to walk with you. You get to do that when you have just such a good relationship with the God above. And you get to have that when you have a good relationship with yourself. In the Bible, it talks about how the first great commandment is to love God with all your heart, might, mind, and strength. The second is like unto it, to love your neighbor as yourself. A lot of times people miss the
Mm.
second and the third part of it, which is love thy neighbor, so everyone else, as
Mm.
thyself. You got to love yourself as much as you love your neighbors. And I think that's missing. Not just with people who aren't Christians, but with Christians as well. You got to love yourself as much as your neighbor. And when you're able
Mm.
to love yourself as much as your neighbor, not in an ego way, not in a pride way, but the ability to then share it with others, that's where true alignment comes from.
Yes, yeah. I love that part of the Bible that you shared right now. Like, love your neighbor as yourself. On my journey of learning about self-love too, sometimes at the beginning, I was also like, what's this self-love all about? But then, when I hear this Bible verse all over again, I'm always like, okay, actually it's about, loving my neighbor, but giving that myself that kind of love also, the kind of love and kindness I'll give to someone else. I deserve to have that too for myself. Yeah.
And
Thanks
it's
so much for
hard.
sharing
Like,
it.
I don't know why. I don't know why it's so hard for us to love ourselves. Because I don't know if you've had it this way, to where somebody has like an impressive skill and we're like, wow, they are so amazing because they have that skill. But then we have skills, but if we have it, we don't think that it's impressive to other people. We just think it's average because we can do it.
Yeah, that's
And there's
true.
this weird barrier of disconnect of just like all the way down the pipeline of like, as people get closer to us, of like strangers to church members to then family and friends, then we hit this barrier, kindness for everyone up here, but then we pass this barrier of just like unkindness to ourselves. And it's just like, we got to remove that. It's just love all over.
Yeah, it's just love all over. Yeah, I mean, I can totally relate with that. Sometimes I see people doing things and I genuinely appreciate it and love it and like, oh my God, that's so incredible. You're doing something so amazing. And I find myself doing, maybe not the same thing, but something also equally amazing. I'm like, oh, it's just average. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, giving it less regard, because I am the one doing it and I don't, yeah. It's something I have to change, but it's something I'm working on. Basically, like give myself that same respect, love, like I give others also.
Yeah. The question I had to ask myself, I ask other people to ask themselves when they are not being kind to themselves, is if you heard someone else talking to your friend that way, what would you be doing? And if that is going up and like punching the other dude and just being, or going to your friend and being like, that means nothing, you are so important. That's how you need to talk to yourself, as how you would talk to a friend if they were getting bullied by someone else. Sometimes a lot of times there's that disconnect. But the question would be, if you would say the exact same thing you're thinking about yourself, if you saw someone else saying that to your friend, would you not protect them and tell them something different?
Yeah.
And if you would go and protect them and tell them something else, then you need to tell yourself something else.
Yes. That's something I'm going to make use of. Next time I'm talking to myself in the wrong way, I get to put that checking mechanism in between. Yes. Yes. Wow, Willie, I've learned so much from you. I've learned so much from speaking with you and learning from your life journey. For people out there who would like to connect with you and work with you, what's the best way to do this?
Yeah, best way to connect with me is to go to my website, coachwillieblake.com, and that'll have ways to connect with me as well as all my socials. And for my social handle, it's willieblake_light, LIGHT. And you can find that on all social media platforms.
Yes. And I encourage everyone out there, to listen to your podcast also, to tune in, and everything everything that you need to know is basically on Willie's website. So I'll place the link to your website in the show notes of this episode, and I encourage everyone to just go out there, connect with you on your social media handles, and also listen to your podcast. Thank you so much for spending the time here with me on this episode and shining so much light on dyslexia, on self-love also, and how God influences everything that we are and what we do. I really appreciate this, and living a purposeful life, which is very important. Thank you so much, Willie. It was awesome speaking with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.